Self.com, a new article from Self.com, what the future of fitness really looks like. It's time to break free from fitness's anti-fatness. For many, the world of fitness can be far more limiting than freeing. In gyms, on social media, and in other fitness-dedicated spaces, the focus on what our bodies look like can make it hard for those with bodies that don't conform to narrowly defined norms to feel like they belong. For far too long, people with larger bodies have been met with limitations, judgment, and intimidation in spaces designed to help us all reach our potentials. Over the last few years, thanks to the body positivity movement, as well as other thoughtful explorations that have challenged complacent ideas about weight and size, we've seen an important shift in how we discuss larger bodies. But fitness spaces can be a final frontier in a particular strain of body discrimination where anti-fat bias and weight-related stigma are all entrenched in our collective understanding of what it means to be fit. It's time to break free from this limited view. The future of fitness is about making space for everyone to feel welcome. So in this package, we're celebrating the people who are helping us to get there. Fitness is already a practice of the privileged. It requires time, money, and access that many people don't have. Fat people have to jump those hurdles and more just to get to the gym. And when they do, they're often met with judgment, discrimination, and calorie lectures they didn't ask for. The problem keeping fat people out of the gym is not their fatness. The problem is fatphobia. We have a bunch of really helpful service pieces if you're someone wondering how to navigate fitness spaces in a larger body. They include how to find a gym that's size-friendly, how to respond to anti-fat encouragement when you're working out, how to feel confident starting at the gym, and Myrna Valerio's useful gear roundup of 12 pieces of running gear that can make running in a larger body more comfortable. What do you think about that, gentlemen?
The body positivity thing works in one direction usually. So I think both of you guys I've seen get not body shamed, because that's maybe a bit strong, but like made fun of for your physiques in some way. Like something, Chris, that your forearms are ridiculous, or Johnny, that, oh, you can stop sticking your chest out now, mate. Like I remember the bouncer saying, or people just, and these comments are all fine to throw at someone for how they look if their body is muscular, but it's not so much if it's fat. And so there are some kind of still underlying unspoken parts of what you can and can't say. Equally, they're right that this attitude does stop people from wanting to get started with fitness because they feel it's inaccessible and they see the Instagram ideal bodies and think, oh, well, I'm so far away from that, I don't feel welcome in that place. And I think that's perfectly valid. But I would say there are many things that you can train that don't revolve around what your body fat is. If you join a powerlifting gym, you'll be welcomed
among friends.
Among friends, because the goal there is how much weight can you lift, and in many cases, if you are fatter or if you're able to get fat quickly, very helpful.
You can get strong. Yeah, well, I fundamentally disagree that gyms are a place that people who are of a larger size aren't accepted into. In gyms, you have a place. How can you say that gyms are unforgiving to fat people when it's filled with former fat people? It's select for people that used to be fat. I've never seen, if you see a big guy come into our gym, you will see him get far, far more encouragement than a guy who is in shape, or a girl.
Absolutely. That's the reality of it, because people aren't dicks in gyms. They're there to improve themselves. But I think it's more the perception. It's that, oh, look, everyone in there is in good shape and I'll feel out of place.
But that's not what the article is saying. What the article is saying is that there is discrimination, anti-fat bias, weight-related stigma entrenched in our collective understanding, and judgment. They're met with judgment, discrimination, and calorie lectures they didn't ask for. The problem keeping fat people out of the gym is not their fatness. The problem is fatphobia. That immediately externalizes the locus of control, right? This is just fucking NPC thinking 101. It's not high agency behavior. It's a victim mentality. And I thought, God, here we go. More virtue signaling from a company that is basically giving people chicken soup for this high-calorie chicken soup for the soul around fatphobia. But then I saw that they actually provide what looks like pretty good quality workout routines for people that maybe don't understand how to use the gym or are a little bit bigger. So there's a girl, Roxanne, the diva or something on YouTube, and she's, giving people very, very basic body weight movements that you can just follow along with, and that's for free. So you go, okay, so these people know what at least movement looks like, but the rhetoric and the virtue signaling here is, I don't think that there is anybody that I can think of that this would make feel better, that actually wants to feel that way. Ethan Suplee, my buddy, 550 pounds, like 10 years ago when he filmed Remember the Titans, now 220 pounds. At no point does he want to be told, yeah, man, the reason that you can't get fit is because of everybody else. It's because of this discrimination, which I've never seen in 15 years of training. And I think if I did see in the gym, I'd go up to someone and say, excuse me, mate, what the fuck do you think you're doing? This person has obviously had to overcome, some concerns around getting into a gym to get here. Why wouldn't you support them? And every single time someone big does step into the gym, we do.
Yeah, there's a video going round of, there's a famous personal trainer who does sort of sassy videos in Durham or Stockton, like Team RP or Team.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's a video of him going up to someone and confronting them because previously, the day before, he was in that guy's gym with a mate who was overweight, and he was kind of berating him for being overweight. And he was like, "Oh no, it's just banter. You don't know what the relationship's like between me and him." And this guy was confronting him, saying, "Well, no, it's unacceptable." So, and that's not out of place. That's accepted that you shouldn't be a dick to people. I think that's totally valid.
Did you see, sorry, Johnny, did you see Titania McGrath or Andrew Doyle tweeted saying, this article proves that fat people are just as fit as so-called athletes. So why is it that fat people are still so underrepresented in competitive sports? Like, it doesn't surprise me that, it wouldn't surprise me if the meritocracy that sport is based around, i.e. like you come first if you're the fastest, there will be a complaint down the line of why are fat people underrepresented in elite sport? Like that absolutely could be something that I could see happening, a headline.
Whereas the whole definition of sport is that it's based on performance and a bunch of other factors, not just fatness. How early you were brought into the sport and how much money your parents and your coach and your team had to push you behind this thing, and all these other kind of social factors that are beyond your control. And so, but people like to pick whatever their particular bugbear is to say, this doesn't fit my agenda in sport. So obviously trans athletes is the big one recently, but
not as big as obesity in sport, Youssef. Not as big as fat people.
Yeah, but so I actually took issue more with the mechanics of the workout video, just because, as you know, when someone is doing, so you sometimes see people warm up in the gym and they do rotator cuff warm up like that. It's not against gravity. Like, what are you doing? Or like twisting a dumbbell, or so doing a wood chop without any kind of cable resistance is not a wood chop. You're just moving your arms in the air.
It's a wood chop without the axe,
or without the cable. But the whole point of the wood chop is the reflection resistance.
Well, fuck, man. Like the definition of fitness, trying to rejig the definition of fitness. It's time to look at our collective understanding of what it means to be fit. So the CrossFit definition of fitness, remembering that's the sport of fitness, and also has the title of the fittest on earth athlete. Your work domain across broad time and modal work capacity across broad time and modal domains. 10 components: cardiovascular, respiratory endurance, stamina, strength, flexibility, power, speed, coordination, agility, balance, and accuracy. You are as fit as you are competent in each of these 10 skills. I would be very, very interested to hear from someone that thinks that they can give us a better definition of what fitness is than that. And I definitely don't think that it's going to come from self.com. I just don't see it. I don't see the things that this article is claiming happen. And I've been in a lot more gyms than most of the people that write the article. Like, it's not about it not happening to me. It's about the way that I feel when I'm in there and what I see as well.
So here's an example, because the three of us have been to a yoga class. And the three of us are very out of place. We're not fit for yoga. We're not made for it at all.
Speak for yourself.
And and so, like, I certainly, if I'm in a yoga class and I'm like at the front, I feel a bit of like, oh God, people must there's all the internal narrative of like people must think like what a Willy, like what's he doing there, or he's just here to creep on the yoga pants, or all these kind of like things that aren't true, but they're just kind of background thoughts because you're like, well, I'm out of place here and I stick out like a sore thumb. So it's just that. But of course, when you come out of the thing and you're like, oh, actually, I have no proof of that. That's just my internal projections there.
Yeah.
Do you not credit like because all three of us did it, and none of us talked about that at the time. Like maybe afterwards when you're sort of falling over or like shaking and trying to hold a position. But I credit my like comfort in that situation to just, I guess, those feelings that existed the first time you step in the gym, and they exist in my mind anyway, no matter what you look like, because you may look like you fit the part, but then you get under a barbell and you still don't know what you're doing. Well, you still feel like everyone's looking at you.
One of the interesting models that gets missed off when we're talking about body positivity, it's only ever from fat to less fat. It's never from really skinny guy to growing and getting bigger. The only time that you would ever see people that are super lean are perhaps girls that have had eating disorders and are anorexic. But I've never seen an article ever written about that from a reputable source talking about how you can gain muscle as somebody that previously had an eating disorder. However, Lucy Davies, tons of people that we know and we follow online have previously had eating disorders and now are in the most ridiculous shape because they've got all of the leanness of when they were with great muscle added on top.
And that's a big pain point as well. If you've ever seen, those old kind of cartoons like Recess and all these American like school bully type, Hey Arnold,
picking on the skinny kid.
Every time.
Yeah. And so that skinny kid stepping into the gym, I don't know. It seems to me like there is a particular talking point that people know. And I mean, fuck, we're the ones giving it more airtime, right? But I just think that if you're the sort of person that anybody that's listening to this doesn't have NPC thinking, so they're already not taken in by that high calorie chicken soup for the soul. But if you are tempted to think about that, go, okay, like, does this actually make my situation any better at all? Or can I find someone that I can go to the gym with, and once I step in there, realize that all of these concerns and all of these rumors are only believed by people who have never been to a gym in their life?
That's the key metric. Does this improve accessibility for people who are obese to get into the gym and start exercising? And if it doesn't, if it reinforces these structures and makes you feel like
reaffirms their fears.
If it confirms your fears or kind of plays to them, then that's doing the opposite. It's discouraging people from going. So we need to find this balance of how do you make it as accessible as possible and friendly and inclusive without exploiting people's fears.
But if you experience the negativity, like you go to a gym and people are nasty to you, but you've decided you want to lose weight or gain weight or whatever, I just don't think stopping the pursuit entirely is a very sustainable strategy to approach anything in life, because no matter what you do, no matter what you pick, even once you're in shape, you'll have people telling you you're taking it too far. You'll have people telling you that protein shakes are causing all sorts of health concerns. It doesn't end. So if you want to not embark on the journey, that's fine. But at all points along the journey, the same problem in various grades in and out of the gym will just exist.
Well, this is what I think the article's trying to convince people of. The fact that actually maybe the gym is the scary place that you always thought it was. You shouldn't be going. You don't need to go. These are some of the problems. This is why your fears should be confirmed, as opposed to just stress testing it for yourself, heading into a gym and realizing that almost everyone in there has been fat. You are in a place that selects for people who are going out of their way to try and change their bodies. But that's not the group of people that are going to say to you, "Oh, what you going to the gym again? Are you? What are you going there for?" That's what it's like being a young British guy who goes to the gym instead of deciding to go on another night out at uni. That's the accusation. Oh, what are you doing that for? You're not mates with us anymore? You're not too good for us now? You go, no, I just really want to get my push workout in the morning because I'm on 531 and it's peak week, and next week I get to deload and
because I listened to Modern Wisdom and
I bought Bitcoin. But yeah, I just think it's NPC thinking. People shouldn't listen to it. Self.com can do better than this. They definitely can. But in the meantime, I don't think that a place which is full of former fat people like the gym is going to be that unforgiving.
Just watch the Jocko Willink good video, and then just go anyway.
If you enjoyed that, then press here for the best clips from the podcast over the last few weeks. And don't forget to subscribe. Peace.